Yay! Okay, we're just gonna ignore the fact that there's a fan blowing into my mic. Just don't mind the fan. As long as you don't mind the fan. Actually, I should move that. I don't have anywhere to move it though, cause I'm in California and the sun's blaring down. Of course. Only room in the house where the sun has direct access to a really big window, so it comes into my room. Yeah, immediately gets heated up. Fucking Steam notice. Motherfucker. Okay, just in case anyone just joined the stream, notice is short for notifications. Yeah. Okay, I'm currently trying to figure out how to rotate a block. Okay, I'll just use the keyboard mode, I can't.
Move the marker into position. Rotate the marker. Rotate the marker. Move the marker into position.
Okay, now wait a damn second.
Rotate the marker.
No, cause... Okay, wait. Maybe it's... Oh, fuck. Okay, Oh!
Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red tab. Select the flashing red
Bitch,
block.
it's tab.
Rotate the marker.
Oh.
Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position.
That's not gonna be...
Fuel injectors will add 400
confusing
power
at all.
output to any cylinder they are attached to, but they will burn 0.8 materials per second. They excel at power density, but are poor options for material efficiency.
Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block.
Injector.
Rotate the marker.
Wait, what?
Move the marker into position. Rotate the marker. Left click. To place
Yes,
the
I'm a
block.
genius.
Cylinders will heat up when in use.
Genius on my
and
time,
will
by the
have
way.
Lower output as they get hotter. If they overheat, they won't produce any power until they cool down. Exhausts are the main way to keep cylinders cool and produce more power.
Select the flashing red block. Close the inventory by pressing E. Rotate the marker.
That way. Yeah, it goes that way, okay.
Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position.
Radiators help to cool all cylinders on an engine
okay.
at the cost of a small amount of material efficiency. Sometimes they can be the solution to an engine that just gets a little too hot to function.
Rotate the marker. Move the marker into position.
Now
Genius
that
of my
we've
time.
created the basis of the engine, let's expand on it with some more parts. To start off, let's add some additional injectors.
Select the flashing red block. Rotate the marker. Move the marker into position.
As more power-producing parts are added, we must also add more exhausts to ensure the cylinders are receiving enough cooling to function. By using some junction pipes to connect two cylinders, we can save space and cool them both.
Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red tab. Select the flashing red block. Left click to place the block.
The cooler a cylinder runs, the more power output it can provide. Therefore, taking measures to ensure cylinders stay cooler are hard to pass up if you need that little bit of extra power.
Oh, okay, so that
Rotate
goes
the
from all
marker.
sides.
Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. You're done. Leave build mode by pressing B.
This compact engine is now complete. Well done. With time and practice, you will find ways to get more power output in a smaller package with your engines.
Yes.
In a later tutorial, we will build an efficient engine using carburetors. Carburetors allow the connection of turbochargers and superchargers. Turbochargers increase fuel efficiency of carburetors at high RPMs, and superchargers increase efficiency at low RPMs. Congratulations, this tutorial is complete.
Okay, we're gonna see the vertical launch
This tutorial will
missiles.
show you how to build a basic missile platform. To be more specific, we'll be constructing a vertical launch system for the missiles. Missile systems are
gonna be
rather
goated.
expensive and use a lot of material to reload,
Shut up,
but they are
nerd.
amongst
No,
the
they
most
don't.
compact of the weapon systems and can be configured for a variety of roles. Don't leave home without one in your fleet. The start of every missile system begins with a missile controller. Go ahead and place it first.
Hold the vehicle still by pressing caps lock. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block.
Connectors will allow you to connect the launch pads to the system. For this setup, we will only need 3 connectors. Place them as shown. The launch pads are the beginning of the actual missile to be launched by the missile system. There are
Alright.
3 sizes to the launch pads you can use, but for this tutorial, we will use the medium launch pad.
Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block.
want small missiles.
Close the inventory by pressing E. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position.
Missile gantries will determine the length of your missile and can be as long as you wish. The longer your missile is, the more modules you can fit onto it, but going too long will reduce your missile's speed and turning potential.
Left click to place the block. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position.
I'm actually
With
so
the missiles
fucking
now
sick.
placed, we will add ejectors to the launch pads. These aren't necessary, but they help the missile clear the gantry at a faster pace. They can also be configured to eject the missile at certain angles if you aren't using a hatch.
Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block.
The Identify Friend or Foe add-on, or the IFF add-on, is essential for any offensive missile in a fleet-on-fleet combat. They will keep the missiles from locking onto friendly craft. You only need 1 per system, but don't forget it. If you are firing multiple missiles, you probably don't want them all firing at once. The Staggered Fire add-on allows you to set a delay between launching missiles so they can be scattered out over time.
Okay.
You're done. Leave build mode by pressing B.
This basic missile system's construction is now complete. The missiles themselves will need to either use radar seekers, laser designators, or the one-turn module in order to lock onto a target at such a large angle. You can always press Q on a launch pad or its gantries to bring up the missile and adjust the modules.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Gotta go
Check
to the
out some of the
bathroom.
pre-constructed missile systems to get a better grasp on the many different missile types you can make. Congratulations, this tutorial is complete.
Gotta go to the bathroom. Be right back. Oh, we're back. Let me just check, can I? So they do work. Huh. I suppose it's not aiming for anything.
You've come a long way, and finally have your own fortress under your control. Feel free to take a moment to appreciate what has been built. It's not completely done, but we'll have it fully functioning by the end of this tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be discussing how to keep a sky fortress afloat, explaining what materials and energy are and how to obtain them and spend them. We will be moving around a lot on this fortress in build mode. You can always move faster in build mode by double tapping the directional key that you wish to move in. To get started, Sky Fortress turbines are required to keep the fortress in the air. If you lose all of them, or they run out of power, the fortress will start to crumble apart. Let's place some more turbines to reduce the odds of this happening.
Select the flashing red block. Move the marker into position. Left-click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Left-click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position.
Materials are what makes the world go round in From the Depths. They are used to build your craft, reload your weapons,
Neat.
and power your engines. Let's add some more material storage to this fortress near the back.
Select the flashing red tab. Close the inventory by pressing E. Move the marker into position. Left-click to place the block. Left-click to place the block.
Fortresses are known for their static behavior and are best kept in resource zones to gather materials. Let's place down some material gatherers to make use of this extra material storage we now have.
Left-click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Left-click to place the block. Move the marker into position.
Fuel tanks are used by fuel engines and custom jet engines and allow them to access materials to burn as fuel. Let's add some more fuel storage to this fortress.
Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Move the marker into position. Left-click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position.
Refineries are used to refine materials into globally accessible commodities. Commodities can be gifted to any force in your territory or neighbouring territories. Constructs need to have at least 1 million materials in storage in order to run the refinery, so it is quite an investment. There are also extra modules which will make the refinery more efficient at converting materials into commodities. Generally, it's wise to make efficient refineries to make the most out of your materials. We'll be going over all the parts of a refinery in this tutorial. Let's start by placing the refinery itself first.
Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Left-click to place the block.
As refineries are in use, they create dangerous gas. If the dangerous gas gets too high, the refinery will take damage and explode. Flare stacks will mitigate the dangerous gas buildup. Let's place a few of those. The desalter is the first piece used to make refineries more efficient at commodity creation. Only one desalter works per refinery system.
Left-click to place the block.
The coker is another add-on for the refinery that moderately increases the efficiency of conversion. Unlike the desalter, you can have as many cokers as you like. The catalytic cracker is the last module covered for the refinery. It increases the volume of materials processed into commodities. You may also have as many of these as you'd like on your refinery.
Left-click to place the block.
As modules are added onto the refinery, the dangerous gas will build up faster. Let's attach more flare stacks to keep the dangerous gas under control.
Select the flashing red block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block.
What good are your cannon ships without ammo? Ammo barrels allow weapons to access materials for reloading. You normally need a lot of them for your larger craft. Let's place a few more ammo barrels onto this fortress.
Open the inventory by pressing E. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position.
Energy is a different type of resource that is stored in batteries, which can be recharged in various ways. You can also convert energy to power by using an electric engine. For now, let's just place a few more batteries for energy storage. The radioisotope thermoelectric generator, basically known as the
I've heard of
RTG,
this one in this game
is an
before.
expensive asset, but is constantly providing free energy that it stores in batteries. Craft powered by RTGs and electric engines don't burn materials at all. Let's place a few.
Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Left click to place the block. You're done. Leave build mode by pressing B.
Getting familiar with material is important for managing your campaigns. Fortresses are a great place to resupply your fleets, since they will commonly have plenty of material storage and be placed in resource zones. We've completed our construction on this fortress for now. In the next tutorial, we will be learning how to move materials between forces and across the world map. Congratulations, this tutorial is now complete. We're going to learn about moving material around and
Okay.
resupplying our units. This tutorial will be of most help in preparing for campaign play. We're going to do the entire tutorial with out-of-play forces, first introduced in a strategic controls tutorial. We will do everything from the fleet interface. Let's open it now. Open the fleet interface by pressing E. I've created a resource harvesting fortress for you. It has resource gatherers on it, powered by fuel engines, which burn some material. And it generates material when in a resource zone. If you mouse over the material gatherer unit, you'll see it has spawned with 100 materials. These numbers will not change until it enters a resource zone and begins to harvest. Let's move the material gatherer into the resource zone now.
Listening. Listening.
Move the material gatherer into the resource zone. Select the unit and right-click in the
Moving out.
green resource zone ring.
Moving out.
With the material gatherer in the zone, it will start to burn some materials to gather much more material. We will need to defend material gatherers in order to survive. I will create a guard vehicle for you. Okay, a guard vehicle has been created for you. Let's put both of these two units in the same fleet. You were shown how to do this in a strategic controls tutorial.
I remember this one, I swear.
Now let's
Yes.
rename the fleet to Processing Fleet by pressing the flashing red button and typing the new name in.
Okay, nerd.
What we want to achieve is the material gatherer, giving materials to the guard boat.
Listening.
We will do this using supply types.
Moving out.
First, we activate Resource View, which
Moving
shows
out.
loads of extra logistical options. Activate Resource View by pressing
out.
the flashing red button or pressing Ctrl R. We're now going to set procurement levels. These are the minimum amount of different resources we will keep. Resources above these levels can be given away to other forces, but we will never give away so much that we drop below these procurement levels. Set the material gatherer to only keep a small amount of material, so that it can give a lot to the guard boat. Look for the flashing red button. Set the guard boat to keep loads of material. Look for the flashing red button. The desired levels are now set, but nothing is happening. That's because we need to assign the supply type of these two forces. There are 3 supply types: creator, cargo, and user. The settings determine how energy and material are shared between vehicles.
Okay.
Let's arrange our forces into types now. Put material gatherer into creator type by selecting it and left-clicking the flashing red button.
Listening. Moving out. Receiving.
Um. Oh wait, that's
Put
the
guard
creator.
boat into user type by selecting it and clicking the flashing red button. We will now see numbers flying around the screen representing the flow of material between these 2 forces. You will also see a green bubble
Moving now.
outline that shows the forces sharing this material. Supply groups are useful for keeping all forces in a fleet well stocked. But what about supplying distant fleets? I've spawned in a distant boat called combat boat with no material, and a supply vessel called supply boat with loads of storage capacity for material. We will start by setting supply boat to be a cargo type. This will mean that material gatherer tries to
Receiving.
fill it up with material. Select the supply boat force. Put supply boat into cargo type by pressing the flashing red button. We will now wait here until supply boat is full of materials. Press the ×10 button in the bottom right corner of the screen to speed up time. Material gatherer will give material to the supply boat once they have an excess. Because we set guard boat to demand high amounts of material, this will take some time. Whilst we wait, we will configure the supply boat procurement levels. We want to set the procurement levels to the bare minimum so that most of the supplies are given to the combat boat that we are supplying. Set the supply boat to only keep a small amount of material so that it can give a lot to the combat boat. Look for the flashing red button. Now we will move supply boat near combat boat to allow the resupply. Order supply boat to move near combat boat.
Receiving. Moving now. Receiving. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
Select combat boat.
Moving now.
Now we will make the combat boat a user type so that the supply boat provides it with loads of material. Put combat boat into user type by pressing the flashing red button. Now we will set the procurement levels of combat boat so that it can be fully resupplied by the supply fleet. Let's set the procurement for material to its maximum level. Set the combat boat to keep maximum material so that it's always
Receiving.
combat ready. Look for the flashing red button. If you move supply fleet back and forth between processing fleet
Receiving.
and combat fleet,
Receiving.
you'll see that supply fleet will refill and empty its supplies until the combat fleet is full. This tutorial is now complete.
Okay, now it's time to learn how to make the APHE cram cannon. I've heard about this before. Oh boy, that's a basic turret. That's what we're starting off with. I've all I know. That's just a one-axis 360 turret. Okay, well we're doing this. They didn't even bother. They didn't even bother with the speech.
We're going
they just,
to do some building now.
Yeah, there we go.
From the Depths uses a novel, keyboard-based building approach, but it also has the more familiar mouse-based building options as well. We always recommend using keyboard-based building but you can tap F3 at any time to swap modes. Enter build mode by pressing B. Hold the vehicle still by pressing caps lock.
Much better.
Cycle a central mirror on by pressing Alt-N. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block.
Hey, they made that easy.
Open the inventory by pressing E.
I
Select the flashing red block. Close the inventory by pressing E. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block.
huh.
Close the inventory by pressing E. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Right click to remove the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Close the inventory by pressing E. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red tab. Select the flashing red block. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Rotate the marker. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Left click to place the block. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. 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 Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Select the flashing red block. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. You're done. Leave build mode by pressing B.
Oh, fuck ass cannon. Nice and deep before it fucking blows up. Neat.
This tutorial will show
Never
you how
using
to
that, by
place
the
a
way.
large but efficient engine that burns materials to create power. This efficient engine will have a lot of material efficiency, but a low power output for its size. Since material efficient engines will save you materials over time, you should look to prioritize building these types of engines over versions that use fuel injectors.
We're going to do some building now. From the Depths uses a novel, keyboard-based building approach, but it also has the more familiar mouse-based building options as well. We always recommend using keyboard-based building, but you can tap F3 at any time to swap modes.
Just like the previous engine tutorial, we will start with the fuel engine generator block, since it is the most important piece. Without it, the engine will not function.
Hold the vehicle still by pressing caps lock. Cycle a central mirror on by pressing Alt-N. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block.
Next, we will add the crankshafts, just like before. Remember that a crankshaft can be as long as you'd like, and for this engine, we will keep it short and simple. Next, we will add the cylinders, but this time we'll be adding a couple more than before.
Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block.
Now it's time for the carburetors. They provide 125 power to attach cylinders, which makes them less power dense than injectors, but they can also attach to more cylinders at once, which can make them just as strong as injector engines when built right.
Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position.
Next up, we'll be adding the superchargers. These blocks connect to carburetors and improve material efficiency when the engine is running at low RPMs. They can benefit multiple carburetors at once, so place them between carburetors where possible. Turbochargers can be tough to place, but are vital for any material efficient engine running at high RPMs. Connect the main block to the cylinder and the top part to the carburetor. The info for the turbocharger will tell you if it's connected properly.
Right click to remove the block. Open the inventory by pressing E. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block.
There are left and right variants of the turbocharger. If you have mirror mode on, it will properly place the proper turbocharger on the opposite side. Since we have to rotate the turbocharger around, we must use the other variant for this step, despite being on the same side. With the main pieces added to the engine, let's add the exhausts and connect them. To start off, place the corner pipes in the locations requested. We'll also place corner pipes on the upper cylinders for extra cooling.
Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position.
Now we will add in the junction pipes to connect the pipes on the lower part of the engine. The layout will appear unusual, but we'll be looking to add inline turbochargers to the system. The gap in the junction pipes will be addressed in the next step.
Move the marker into position. Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position.
Now we will add a couple of straight pipes to connect the disconnected junction pipes to the exhaust line.
Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block.
Now we will add more corner pipes to curve the exhaust lines in preparation for inline turbochargers.
Rotate the marker. Rotate the marker. Left click to place the block.
Inline turbochargers connect through the exhausts and attach to a carburetor to further improve material efficiency at high RPMs. The more exhaust gas flowing to the inline turbocharger, the stronger it will be. They will properly mirror just like the regular turbochargers. Finally, let's add the last exhausts to the system. Keep in mind that the inline turbochargers don't need these exhausts, but piping gas to desired locations or connecting more inline turbochargers may be desired.
Left click to place the block. Move the marker into position. You're done. Leave build mode by pressing B.
Well done, you have completed this engine. In time you will find the combinations and placements of blocks that will be even more efficient than this engine. Remember to experiment and find out what works best for you. Also remember that a failed design isn't a failure, it's a learning experience. Congratulations, this tutorial is complete.
See if we can, like, drive it. Whee! Okay, when it started, I was right here, and now we're right here. We're making good progress.
The Advanced Projectile System, simply known as the Advanced Cannons, is a fairly complex system that allows a large variety of cannon systems, which can range from small rapid-fire cannons to large cannons firing heavy shells that are capable of dealing massive damage. It uses an arrow controller and shell customizers to allow the creation of various shells. Mastery of advanced cannons will take time, but are well worth the investment.
Uh-huh.
The firing piece is the main piece that is part of the advanced cannon. It is here that you will attach mantlets, gauge increasers, coolers and railgun fixtures. All will be explained in this guide. You can also press Q on the firing piece, which has various options such as the idle barrel angle, number of barrels and much more. The mantlet attaches to the front of the firing piece, and it allows an increase to the firing angle of the cannon. You can only have one mantlet per cannon, and it is necessary to allow a wider firing angle. There are 5 mantlets to choose from for your cannon's needs. Each of them have advantages and disadvantages, so use the one most proper for the cannon you are making. For example, if you are making an anti-air cannon, the AA mantlet is fantastic with its high elevation capabilities, but it has poor azimuth rotation. Put a cannon that uses an AA mantlet on a turret for the best of both capabilities. It's never a bad idea to experiment to find what mantlet is best for the occasion. Barrels attach to the mantlet and serve to increase the accuracy of the cannon, while also being important to allow gunpowder to burn and increase the shell speed. A proper barrel length is dependent on the cannon, so you may need to adjust the barrel length later on once you have everything set up. There are beamed versions of barrels, alongside a heavy barrel counterpart that is more durable but also much heavier and more expensive. It is best to use as many extended versions of barrels in order to increase durability of the barrel line. The bore evacuator is not a necessary part of the barrel, but it reduces the cooldown of the cannon, which will allow the gun to shoot faster. However, the bore evacuator is not a durable piece and will create a weak point in your barrel line. Choose wisely for its placement since it can fit anywhere on the barrel line. The muzzle brake attaches to the end of the barrel line and reduces the recoil of the cannon while also slightly decreasing shell speed. It's mainly used when further reducing recoil of the cannon is necessary. Just like the bore evacuator, the muzzle brake is an optional piece. However, with the externals of the cannon covered, let's look at building the functional parts of a cannon. To start off are the gauge increasers. As stated in their name, they increase the gauge of the cannon so it can fire bigger shells. They connect to the back of the firing piece or onto splitters and/or coolers. An advanced cannon only requires up to 8 gauge increasers. Any beyond this are redundant and provide no additional effect. The gauge splitter attaches to either the firing piece, gauge increasers or gauge coolers and serves to turn the gauge line in another direction or 2 separate directions. This can allow a more complex placement of gauge increasers or coolers. Gauge splitters also act as cooling units, which will help increase the rate at which the cannon can fire. Gauge coolers allow the cannon to cool down faster, which will increase the possible fire rate of the cannon. They allow the connection of other parts on them, just like gauge increasers and gauge splitters, and also connect in the same fashion. There is no technical limit to how many coolers can be used on a cannon, unlike gauge increasers, and there is no penalty to using more. If they make the gun fire too fast, you can always set the fire rate by pressing Q on the fire piece and adjust it in the Advanced Projectile System tab. Connectors serve the simple purpose of expanding the cannon system away from the gauge line. They connect to gauge increasers, coolers and other connectors to allow the placement of auto-loaders, railgun chargers and the miscellaneous parts such as the predictor and laser targeter. Most cannon systems can be built without using connectors, but they can serve as an omnidirectional input for other parts when in a pinch. With the basics of the gauge line covered, we will now look at one of the most important parts of the advanced cannon, the auto-loaders. They come in various sizes which allow for the loading of many shell sizes. You will want to use the proper auto-loader size for the shells you are intending to fire. If you are launching 500mm shells, then you may want auto-loaders at least 4 meters or longer. You can place auto-loaders along the gauge line onto connectors or adjacent to other auto-loaders. There is no penalty to placing them next to each other and no benefit of placing them on connectors or vice versa. Ammo clips are vital for storing your ammo shells as you await to fire them. They connect up to 4 sides of an autoloader, except for the 1 meter belt-fed autoloaders, and can stack up on top of each other to increase the number of stored shells. You can even see the shells loaded in the clip for the standard ammo clip. There is a solid variant that doesn't have to render these shells, which will increase the game performance. When an ammo clip is destroyed, the shells will also explode and can chain react, possibly destroying the entire cannon. Make sure your ammo clips are well protected, especially when using larger and more volatile shells. The ammo ejector is an advanced block that connects to the autoloader and will eject all shells in the autoloader and attach clips through the top of it. These shells are still live when ejected and in proper use may cause more harm rather than being helpful. On the other hand, they can also allow for some crafty building and can make even the largest of cannon systems safe to use. There is a variant of the ammo ejector that will eject bullets through the back as opposed to the top. Ammo ejectors are optional on advanced cannons. For the rest of the guide, they will be removed for simplicity's sake. Now that we've got the specifics of autoloaders and their pieces covered, let's go to where we can load the shells. Ammo intakes connect to autoloaders or ammo clips and serve as ports to where shells can be loaded. You will need at least one per autoloader clip combination, or the autoloader will never have shells to fire. Later on, this process will be shown once the ammo customizer is discussed. Remember, you only need at least one ammo intake per autoloader clip setup, but you can get benefits out of using more than one. The more ammo intakes you have, the faster the autoloaders and clips can obtain shells. This is quite useful when using belt-fed autoloaders since it reduces the time to fill the attached clips. It's important to ensure that you have enough ammo storage to sustain the ammo intake. We now have everything in place to make use of the ammo controller and ammo customizers. The ammo controller can be placed anywhere on your craft and ammo customizers connect to the controller in a line. You can add as many customizers as you want, but you will be restricted what can be put into the shell based upon its diameter and autoloader size for your cannon. In this case, there are 5 ammo customizers which allow for 10 modules. If we keep the current gauge of 236mm, it would require at least a 3 meter autoloader in most cases. Rather than removing the gauge increases, we can increase the number of barrels on the cannon to reduce the gauge to a more proper level. With 4 barrels, the gauge is now 95mm, which with 10 modules makes a 950mm shell, which is acceptable. With the customizers placed, we are currently firing a stick of gunpowder and no bullet. So let's change that. You can press Q on the controller to bring up the interface for creating a shell. This will show you statistics of the shell alongside the purpose of each part. For this shell, we are creating a basic kinetic shell that uses an AP capped head, a couple of solid warhead bodies, and a base bleeder. The versatility of shells you can make is quite high, so experiment to find what works best. Once you have your shell, press Q on the ammo intake on the cannon. Select the shell and it will automatically start loading shells. You can simply force assign all ammo intakes on the cannon to accept the shell, or you can create a mixed loadout with different shells by setting them up individually. Now that we have the cannon loaded, let's go over the rest of the additives for the advanced cannon. The one that you will use the most will be the recoil absorbers. They help to absorb the recoil that the cannon causes when it fires. If you have insufficient recoil absorption, then not only will the recoil of the cannon affect your craft more, but your cannon will also suffer an inaccuracy penalty. The laser targeter allows the cannon to automatically set the timer settings for fuses that the advanced cannon shells use. It can be placed on a firing piece, gauge increasers, coolers or connectors, and does not require a visual line of sight to operate. This part is essential. The fall-off shot predictor is a basic piece designed for manually operated guns by the player. It will create a trajectory line so you can see where the shot will land. This piece is optional and essentially does nothing for AI-controlled cannons. At last, we have finished covering the main parts of an advanced cannon, and all of this can be used to make most conventional cannons. However, what about railguns? Their parts will be explained in parts beyond this step. If you have no interest in railguns, you can now close out of this guide, otherwise continue on.
Overview. Electric engines are an alternative to fuel engines. They convert energy into power which can be used for typical fuel engine processes. Basics. Electric engines are simple in their design and only use two parts, the electric engine and batteries. The electric engine requires batteries to be connected to the electric engine piece. You can press Q. Batteries consume energy when they're being used, so they need to be recharged. So, how do you recharge them? Fuel engines are adaptable options for recharging batteries. By pressing Q on the main engine block, adjust the battery charge to the amount that seems proper. You can use automated control blocks to change. Steam engines can provide energy for batteries. RTGs produce less power per volume compared to other options and are expensive to place, but they offer this energy for free. By using RTG, you can also transfer energy from one vehicle to another using. All electric engine components are vulnerable to EMP damage. Consider protecting the electrical engine in EMP. Batteries weigh more than metal blocks. This makes them better when placed lower in the deck of a ship to help keep the center of mass lower, thus making the ship more stable.
Yeah, well, I pretty much know everything. Yeah.
Just gonna... Gas fortress. Okay, these are important somehow. Holy fuck. That is a lot of blocks. Okay. Mamma mia. Pretend that never happened. No idea what that does, anyways. That does work. We are so sick. I feel like this is gonna be a Corvette or something. I don't know. Fuck ass music. This is the fuck ass one. Yes, cure me. Cure me of all the debts I may have. Does it float or does it fucking sink? This bitch floats. It's quite small though. And all these bumpy waves don't make it quite easy for it to have a smooth ride. Alright, this is the fuck ass 2. It's probably slightly marginally better. Host his mouth. Oh, no, 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 thank you. Well, this is obviously the best boat ever made, and it should be treated as is it sinking? It's night. As such, it is not good at driving. Perhaps it is a little small. All these big boy engines. There we go. That feels a little better. And it's underwater. No, thank you, buddy. We're staying over the water. Oh, yep. Okay. Good theory, but that does not work. Okay. That seems to work a little. Okay, that also doesn't work. It's in the middle. It's gonna flip. All the thrust is centered. That's bad. Boat is not that centered. Sacrifices had to be made. Turn. This should no longer have that turning issue that bad. It should just kind of go with it a little. Go with it like a little more. Oh, that's not normal. We're just gonna go with the most basic thing of this, and we're just gonna say this is gonna just, its engine will be right here. Oh. This is its whole engine. There we go. Okay then. That's its whole engine. Oh, there's simple weapons here. Huh. I'll be using that. Jesus Christ. You couldn't just code your boat? You have to, like, code the whole ass boat? Jeez. Um, something like that. Listen, guys, it's my first day. Dang, I fucking suck at this. Alright, I've learned a lot today. The things I have learned are So, fuck. I am gonna try and actually do something next time I stream this. I still have no idea what I'm doing. I will, catch you later, perhaps.